Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us his beautiful truth. We just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Aqua that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan the Waf, just coming at you with another quick lesson and praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. I just wanted to touch on this article with these damn Edomites, these police officers, selling these illegal guns, man. They're the police and they're selling illegal guns. And it's not surprising, man, because you live in a wicked kingdom. You live in a kingdom where the people that are actually running it, have a gift of the sword. They are the people that actually make guns, nuclear weapons, bazookas, shotguns, tasers, you fucking name it, a knife or anything, pepper spray. They're in control of these things, and they're actually, and we know that Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not wearing, who is he? And we know that they're the wicked because they're the ones that's in control of everything. They're running the earth. You can't say that these so-called white people are not running the planet, because they're the ones that actually, administrative wise, or from the top people coming on down, they're the ones that make rules as to how a gun can even be made, how it can be made, where the materials come from that can make the gun, who can be in control of having the materials to make shell casings and gunpowder and certain bullets, whether they're hollow tips or buckshot, whatever the fuck, man. He's in control of that type of legislation. And he's running the world. Matter of fact, he's the biggest arms dealer in the world as far as military weapons. The top people that sell military weapons are so-called white people. They're the ones that got the biggest manufacturers all over the world, really just making this shit all day, every day. So this is nothing surprising right here, but I want to play some of this video. It's on CBS News. It's like about 6 minutes or so, but we'll get a little bit of it. Maybe grab a scripture or two here and there, but because see, Esau in these last days, the scriptures talks about, matter of fact, let me grab something real quick, how this man of sin must be revealed in the last days. He is the man of sin. He's actually fooled the world. He actually uses media as a weapon. So he has fooled the world into thinking that, okay, they're these righteous people. They stand on stage with those suit and ties on, with their hair all moosed back, clean shaven, smiling, see all 32 of their goddamn teeth while lying. And they fool the world into believing that, there's this so-called white guy named Jesus coming back to save everybody. We're the righteous. Look, we're the disciples. Look, we're the prophets. You watch any movie, it's them, acting as if they're just the angels. And these people are wicked as hell, man. But they fool the people into thinking that there's this antichrist that's coming. This red guy with the spandex suit on, he's underground with a pitchfork, and there's this fiery lake. And that's not scriptural, man. This man is the man of sin, the son of perdition. But this is 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. What day shall not come? The day of the coming of the Lord, Yahushai, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Like, they've even weaponized the Bible. They've used the Bible, whitewashed all the pictures, and got really everybody on the planet thinking that these people are the righteous people, and they're not. They're the wicked that the Lord created. He created them, man. They are the Lord's sword. Right? It says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So the Lord can't come until this man be revealed. Like, who is he? And again, they fool people into thinking that, there's this guy named the devil. When the word devil just clearly goes into deceiver, an accuser, a slanderer. That's what that word means. It doesn't mean some guy underground with this lake of fire, but they've shown you that shit in the movies. They're giving you that shit in the cartoons, video games, and shit like that. So they have fooled the people. That's what a real damn devil does, man. He deceives people. And so what you're about to see in this video is that how they, pretty much deceived or pretty much wrote out applications and all this other shit to receive these types of weapons, acting as if they really need them for their departments. And they're actually getting them shits, from the federal government. Like these are really military grade weapons, but they're fussing about somebody having an AR-15 or some crazy shit. These are the very people that'll pull up on your damn block, man, with SWAT. You think that that it's a scene from Iraq, man. You'll think that it's a scene from the Gaza Strip over there where the people being bombed at. Motherfuckers all military grade, you know what I'm saying? Just, these people, man, are wicked as hell, man. But anyway, so part of the prophecies is the man of sin, the son of perdition must be revealed. Now, I'm going to play some of this video. And you could just, we already know how they get down. They plant shit on you when they pull you over. They done planted guns on Jake. They done planted crack, cocaine, weed, pills and shit on Jake. That's why so many people got cameras rolling on their asses when they get pulled over now. See, all that shit they used to pull back in the day. See, that camera and this internet is really whooping their asses. These Edomites are being shown to be the man of sin, the son of perdition. Well, let's play some of this real quick.
A CBS News investigation found dozens of law enforcement leaders buying and illegally selling guns. A review of government audits and court records over the last 20 years uncovered instances in 23 states across the U.S., plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C., for a total of more than 50 cases. And people who were supposed to protect and serve were selling these high-powered guns and making a steep profit. Erin Couchy, who led this reporting, is here with me in Studio 57. She's a producer for CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. Erin, this is so mind-boggling that these high-ranking officers are getting these guns and then they're selling them to criminals. In essence, the law enforcement officers are criminals themselves.
Right. So the key is that these weapons are usually deemed too dangerous to be on the street. So they're using their access as law enforcement officials to gain access to things that otherwise wouldn't be on the market. They're saying, we need this for our official duties to serve and protect, but actually they're secretly turning around and they're selling.
They're buying them because they're law enforcement officials, or they're requesting them? Tell me more.
It runs the gamut. So there were 50 cases all across the country, and there were different ways they got it. Sometimes they stole it out of the inventory. Sometimes they were their issued weapons by the department. In the most egregious cases, there were battlefield weapons, and that requires them to go to federal regulators, ask for special permission to gain access to them. And just to give you a sense of what kind of weapons these are, these could take out an armored tank. They could go through a building at the other side, hit a target 18 football fields away. They can take out a military helicopter. That's an example from a real case. We found an Iowa police chief in a 3-person police department. Town was the population of less than 800, and he had requested over the course of 4 years 90 machine guns to get access to. He'd gotten approval. It took until he requested a Gatling-style machine gun that spewed 6,000 rounds a minute for federal regulators to say there's something fishy going on and starting to look into it. He's now serving a 5-year prison sentence, but he's totally unremorseful about it. He just says it's a business. It's not illegal to sell things in this country, and he's appealing his sentence because he just doesn't think it's a crime.
Oh, this is a lot to take in, Erin. And when I'm looking through all of this material, I'm seeing here that your team also uncovered social media posts where the buyers are talking about how they got the officers to sell weapons. Tell me more about that.
So when you're talking about machine guns, you do have to go to the federal regulation because there's been an outright ban in the United States since 1986. No one can have access to them. The one exception is official government use. So they go to federal regulators, but all you need is a letter. It's functionally a permission slip. A police chief signs a letter saying, I need this for department use. So there's literally do-it-yourself videos on social media explaining there's online web forums, and it just comes down to relationships. There's some guys who said, I know a police chief, I know a sheriff, I know a SWAT guy. They just take turns signing these letters for me, and they make it like it's all for fun. Some of these guys just think it's fun to literally mount it on an armored tank and just shoot it off into a field. And a lot of the guys is totally innocent, and that's what they do. But the problem is there are cases where they've ended up in the hands of criminals. So they've ended up with drug traffickers, they've ended up with arms dealers. There was a case where a police chief, a mayor, and a town It was a member of the town council were trafficking guns and tactical gear to a Mexican cartel. There was a case just last year where they all ended up pleading guilty. It was 2 police chiefs, a sheriff, a Delta Force veteran, all conspiring together with the sanctioned Russian arms dealer, and they ended up in the hands of an international gun trafficker. Again, all of that ended up pleading guilty, so we know for sure that they were doing that. And then there was a case in the Northeast where it ended up being used in a fatal gang shooting of a 14-year-old boy who was just standing at a high school football game and accidentally got shot. So most of the cases don't end up in those egregious situations, but they certainly have and do, and these are law enforcement officials.
And arguably, that's the whole reason why they're supposed to have these permission slips, because once they get out into the public, then they're uncontrolled, and then you don't know where they're going to go next. But I'm also seeing here that there's some former ATF agents that you spoke with that said that they were reluctant, actually, to charge these officers who sold the weapons. What's going on with that?
So we spoke to about 6 agents who were the lead investigators on some of these cases, and the officers themselves were the ones the federal agents were the ones who were actually really frustrated with this. They wanted to bring these cases, but they each had an anecdote about how they'd had to go to the department they had caught doing this, who had been doing it repeatedly, almost like as a course of business, that they were getting these guns just for the express purpose of selling them, even though they were supposed to be their department weapons. And they just had to say, I'm letting you off with a warning. Prosecutors are generally reluctant to try these cases, according to them.
So it's a problem.
So you see it, man. And they're not in trouble as other men. Because the one guy, I remember that one story, he only got 5 years, and he's going to fight to, pretty much get out of that shit. More than likely, he's going to get out of it. Let's get Psalm 73. And start at verse 3 here. It says, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." See, they're not in trouble like... Had this been... This is how we know that more likely these are Edomites. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty certain that there's some Israelites involved, you know what I'm saying? Because, Jake, they just wicked as hell, too. Because they just, got that, that... They live in America. They live in Edomite atmosphere where, these people are contagious when it comes to wickedness, man. But overall... These particular people, these are overall Edomites. These are so-called white people that's pulling this shit off, man. And they're not in trouble like other men. You get a slap on the wrist. Motherfucker, you just sold a fucking a gun that can shoot 18 fucking football fields through a damn wall out the backside of a building. All kinds of shit. And ain't no telling what else they selling. They taking the shit out of the... come on, man. You think that when these police officers are doing drug raids, they're really turning in all the money? They're really turning in all the drugs. They're really turning in all the guns. No, man, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Esau's the one that's pushing them the worst criminals on the planet. It's them. It's the very ones that's in your face talking about we fight crime. The very ones that actually stole this country on violence and then set up courtrooms all over the world. They set up courtrooms. It's court going on right now. They trying to prosecute somebody about stealing when you stole a whole damn continent and through murder. Millions of murders. So these are the people that we're dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we pray for the downfall of Babylon, man. This place got to go. Why you think all these wars are going on? Where you think all these people, where you think all these people getting these fucking weapons from that not supposed to have them? How It's like when America so-called stepped back from Afghanistan and left about $100 billion worth of shit over there. Who you think got their hands on that? And ain't no telling how that even went down. Then here you go, you got a guy like Joe Biden, he'll come in and he'll motherfucking give his son a blanketed pardon for 20 years damn near on some bullshit. But this is the place that you living in. They're not in trouble as other men. But now, let's get Romans chapter 13. So start at verse 1, because this deals with law enforcement, so to speak. This deals with, these leaders, man. Romans 13:1, it says, "Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers." So we're to be subject to these higher powers, right? But the higher powers are hell. In a lot of cases, they're wicked as hell. It says, for there is no power but of Yahweh. The power that be are ordained of God, right? So the Lord, he sets up, these kingdoms, man. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. So, if you one of those people, especially if you're so-called black, don't really be happening to Esau like that. Esau can jump out of his car and shoot at an officer, and they'll still take him in, man, with no damn bruises on him. But when it comes to Jake, you know what I'm saying? You can get shot just reaching for your license registration, man. Right? So, in a situation like that, the scriptures talked about agreeing with your adversary quickly. Just be calm. Hell, it's best to just go through a routine and keep your hands on the steering wheel, asking the officer plainly, can I reach over here and grab my registration out of my glove box? You have to take very cautious steps with this man, especially us as Israelites, because we are under the curses, and the Lord has actually placed these people over us as a punishment. So we have to be calm, and you have to use wisdom when you even coming across these people, man. A lot of them be high. It just is what it is, man. These are just regular motherfuckers with a badge and a gun, basically, man. And there's no integrity about a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but it's not a lot of integrity with it. But overall, be calm, be cordial, and use some respect, use some wisdom. Go ahead and pass them your license, and whatever. But, if you are irate and acting a damn fool, these people have no problems blowing your ass away. So that's, pretty much overall what I wanted to say as far as this particular scripture right here. It says, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of Yahweh, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, or they're not supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. So these rulers, they're supposed to be terror. They're not supposed to be terror to good people or people that's doing right. They're supposed to be those, coming through to get rid of the evil, the wicked. That's what their job is. But when they get involved in being the wicked themselves, that's when, they get that harsh judgment from the Lord. That's why, you've been seeing a lot of fucking police officers been getting deleted lately. A lot of them, man. You have situations where, they use that. They'll go into the computer on their personal time and get to stalking your ass, man. But anyway, it says, this is the point right here. For he is the minister of Yahweh to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain, which is the gun. For he is the minister of Yahweh, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. So just think about that. If the Lord, his job is to protect and serve and to keep people safe, but he's the actual one that's in the job fucking with the people and terrorizing the people and selling weapons and drugs and all this, what do you think is going to happen to them? Because the Lord eventually going to get them. Because they're held at a higher standard. They said in the video, these motherfuckers were selling their own personal weapon. Like, how you explaining where your weapon went? You supposed to be guarding that bitch with your life. How you explain you coming to work and you just like, oh, I lost my service revolver? And be like, what? Huh? What? Where was you at last? How you going to explain that? You going to the damn evidence room, taking shit. So this place is wicked, man. Verse 5, it says, wherefore ye must need be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. So they should have a conscience, man. They don't have no conscience when it straight comes down to it. This place is very wicked, man. They don't do a lot of training. They don't really background check these guys. Hell, I don't even think you can become a damn police officer in less than a year. But it take you 4 years of 10 years to go to, whatever, man, to go and be a damn. It takes longer to go and be a barber, man. You want to be able to do hair? It takes longer to go do hair than it actually takes to go to be a police officer. That shit is crazy. But it's all Esau's set up in his design. See, you're living in a wicked fucking country, man. A wicked society, a wicked age. And it's not just here in the Americas. That shit going on in every Edomite, continent, wherever they ruling at, wherever they stole. It's all wickedness, man. And then again, like I said, they'll set up these courthouses and act as if they're keeping order. Crazy, man. But anyway, let's see what else is in here. It wasn't too much more to it. Let's see.
Prosecutors, not the ATF.
It's a little bit of both. So to say the prosecutors don't really want to do it because the sentences are very light. Most of these cases, people make plea deals. They serve less than a year, just a few months in jail. But we got an ATF memo from a few years ago that described this as a growing trend. That was in 2017, and most of the cases we found actually have happened since then. So it seems to be, it's hard to tell if it's happening more often or they're actually just going after it a little bit more now. But the memo said, it's our job to educate, not investigate. And I actually tracked down the senior agent who had written that memo, and he said, we generally take the posture, we don't question our law enforcement partners. So our partners, we're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's really only in the very, very egregious cases that we actually pursue. So when they've gotten many, many warnings, when we've traced them directly to a crime, and that's when you start to see charges. So the more than 50 cases, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more out there that all these agents are saying, oh yeah, I said, how do I look that up in the court docket? You're not going to see anything.
Fascinating reporting. Aaron Couchy, thank you.
See? You're not in trouble as other men, man. And you see that big ass, stupid ass, man? Come on, bro. The shit that Esau be making is out of control, bro. We do know, this is how we know that he's Esau. Let's go, let's prove that. Look, this is how we know that this is Esau right here. That the so-called white man or the so-called white race, they are the Edomites. Let me see here. I'm going to start at verse 38. But this right here is going to show you what they were blessed with. This is how we know who they are. You got to, in the spirit, we know who these people are. Genesis 27:38, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So he's begging for a blessing, right? If you're familiar with the story, this is when Jacob got the blessing and, that whole hoorah of, what I'm saying? He was pissed with Jacob. He wanted to kill Jacob after our forefather Isaac passed away and all this other stuff, right? Verse 39, and Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And that's the reason why they have the best places in the world to live. This man is all out in space, man. This motherfucker have a goddamn mansion sitting on high on a motherfucking mountain. Or you be thinking like, man, how the fuck did they build that shit? How did they get the materials there to build that shit? Just living it up. I seen I ain't do anything on. I seen an article like 2 weeks ago where this, Edomite, he had ordered, special ordered a yacht to be built. He put in his, his 2 cents on how he wanted it built. You know how people reap, you buying something. But I'm thinking like, okay, a yacht. All right, cool, no problem. That's what they do. This motherfucker never steps foot on the yacht after seeing it, after it being built. Because he said it was too small. It was too small for his family. He ended up putting the shit up on the market and selling it for $1 million less than what he actually paid for the shit. And never even stepped foot on it. They was like, well, at least come and see it. He like, no, I can. But the shit was huge. But it was not big enough for him. And I'm thinking like, hey, that's Esau. This is a man that really has the fatness of the earth. Right? But this is the point right here, verse 40. And by the sword, and by thy sword, that's that modern day gun. By thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? Verse 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob. And that's the reason why it's nothing for them to drop them damn guns off in a so-called black neighborhood and let you Jake gun each other down. Because they're not only selling these guns, they'll just drop them bitches off somewhere and notify, they got, come on, bro. We know the game, man. You can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. You got to know the game by now. This man is that goddamn wicked. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. And that's what Esau been trying to do since way back then with you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because you are the Israelites. But he's not getting in trouble. Why? Because this is his kingdom. And the Lord set him up for a time period. But this time period is almost over with, man. So I didn't want to keep it long. I just seen this, you know. Matter of fact, I seen Elder Malcolm. He mentioned it and he went into it. But he always been saying this. He been talking about this for years. The same subject. Just so happened now all of a sudden footage is coming forth to show you that, okay, the prophets is telling the truth. Those things come to pass. Esau don't have no problems with selling no gun in the hood, you know what I'm saying, or to, you know, to whoever. As a matter of fact, just think about it from a Civil War tip. With all these people that's about to go in the uproars, you know, the uproars of the people of the world, and these damn civil wars that could possibly jump off. Who you think got all the ammunition and all these fucking guns, man? You know, where do you think they're selling the biggest shit to? See, them little bullshit guns, you know, Jake, you know, he might get up on something that's nice, though. But, you know, we talking about the big shit. This motherfucker just had a goddamn, look at this, let me go back a little bit, let me see. This fucking gun right here, let me see.
So partners, we're just going to give them their...
Oh, Salakia. That fucking Gatling gun they had on that bitch.
All these agents memos selling them, even they were supposed to be their department
like
weapons.
That.
And they just had to say, I'm letting you off with a warning. Prosecutors are generally reluctant to try these cases, according to them.
So it's the prosecutors, not the ATF.
So this is Esau. You don't think that Esau got crates of these bitches, man? These militias? Off in the backdrop? You don't think that? This man was gifted with the sword. He's not in trouble as other men. He's the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. As a matter of fact, let me get one more. See, he's starting to be revealed. You can't get around it. Proverbs 16:4 says, the Lord hath made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. He created these people to do what's about to come to pass, man, in its near future, as far as, you know, the real massacres, man. He's going to do it with what he was blessed with, the sword. Shit just coming up missing. Hey, this shit is not coming up missing, man. If you got, man, come on, bro. You got Edomite police stations all over this fucker, man. With nobody questioning nothing at all. They're running the police station. You might have some so-called black people that work there. Hispanic person that work there. You know, little women officers, in which they shouldn't be there anyway. But the top dog, the one at the top, he's the one that's pulling the strings, man. And then, you know, a lot of them be having those little military backgrounds and shit like that. They be already knowing a lot of people and shit like that anyway. But, I mean, the whole thing of it is slyness, cunningness, and just straight, flat-out fucking wickedness that goes on with these people. And the Lord created them for that. That's why it's so important to repent to the Father, Yahweh, in the name of his Son, Yahushua, because he's our protection from this man. Because actually, matter of fact, I was reading this earlier today. I was reading this psalm, reading in chapter 17 earlier this morning. Let me start at verse 13. Psalm 17:13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. See? From men, which are thy hand. So we know that the Lord set these people up. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, in whose belly thou fillest with thy head treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. See? That's Esau in a nutshell right there. And the Lord actually used these people to be the hammer of the earth. This is just their kingdom. The Lord has given it to them. But he's also he has a time period for this shit to stop. And they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep it from stopping. But it's not going to work because the Lord already set the timer for it. It's prophetic. And then the next kingdom to come It's going to be the kingdom of the children of Israel. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And that's going to be an everlasting kingdom from our Lord, our Father Yahweh, our Lord and King Yahweh Shai, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, But the children of Israel are going to run the next age. And there's not going to be no stopping to that age. There's going to be an everlasting running and ruling forever. This is the last kingdom that you're witnessing right now. And you can see it circling the toilet. All this man knows is war. That's why when you put the pieces together, by the puzzle, it's letting you know he's a cunning hunter. This motherfucker out in the woods right now in this cold ass weather hunting right now. He's a cunning hunter. But he hunts people. He hunts information. He hunts ways to fucking come up with weapons, man. He done weaponized everything. He done weaponized the food. This motherfucker can weaponize a mosquito, man. He can weaponize your wife, your children against you. He's the expert weapon maker, man. As a matter of fact, let me get one more. It's another one where it talks about the waster. He created the smith. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that blow up the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. That's going off into weapon making. Smiths do different stuff, but overall, the waster, the smith in this day and time, and even back then, because they made swords, they made axes, a lot of, iron work. But this man has perfected things like that from way back thousands of years ago. He done went from basically a jagged rock to a goddamn nuclear weapon within the past couple of thousand years. He's that man. That's the reason why when it talks about World War III, it's going to be what? Let me see, Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. See? This next war, this World War III, it's going to be it. And again, it says for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. That's going back to when they used to fight with swords. They have on all this armory, and the horses and shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot, that was back then. But now as time has grown on, all he has done is perfected the weapon. He has never stopped and said, you know what, this is enough. And he won't stop. What do you think will be next, man? Russia just shot some new shit. They're constantly, reinventing that weapon, man. They're reinventing that sword. Esau got some shit, man, from 60 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago that'll fuck your community up. That's just sitting on the back burner. No, those are prototypes. We don't want to use those. Like the Batman movie. I don't know which one that was where, with Morgan Freeman. I think that what's that, Christian Bale? But, we ended up going up and, they had Morgan Freeman in the basement with the prototypes and shit. Motherfucker had all kinds of shit. That's what most of Batman shit and all the shit that Batman had in that movie was from prototypes in the basement that wasn't even in, either was too expensive to reproduce or, it was just obsolete. They just, even the big ass tank looking fucking Batmobile truck that he had in that shit, that motorcycle with the flip around wheels and shit with the fucking, the damn machine guns on the front of the damn handlebars and shit, He out here paragliding and shit off buildings. But that's Esau, man. This man will jump off into the fucking ocean, man, and swim up on you, man. His special teams. He got special teams, bro. Straight up. This motherfucker fall out of an airplane, man. With expert precision and land on your damn house, man. Next thing you know, he's in there, got you tied up. Waterboarding your ass for some information. Hey, this is Esau. You can't say that it's not him. This is him, man. So I'm going to end out here, man. This is not surprising right here at all. It's just so, like I said,
See, in these last days, it's prophetic that this man will be revealed. And that's what you're seeing on a day-to-day basis. Look at all these stories. He's coming out to be the school shooter. He's coming out to be the guy that's been in the damn churches messing with the kids. He's the guy that's, that's on the news talking about ABCDEFG activities with the 7, 8-year-olds and changing their sexes up. And, this motherfucker talking about blotting out the sun. Constantly rumors of wars. You see? The big dope. See, they be trying to put all that shit on us as a people. But really, in reality, it's them. They're the biggest drug dealers, man. They all on there. They fucking with the food. They giving you GMO shit. They giving you, they got everybody. Come on, bro. No, all of a sudden, all these young people are catching cancer. Like, what's going on? No, we know what's going on. The wicked are in control. Let me get one more. Salakia. Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's why you see all this chaos going on in the world. The wicked are ruling. The earth is given into the hand at Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. He's running the earth. Nobody has a hold or a handle on the planet like the so-called white race. You can't say that they're not running this bitch. Those other little countries like North Korea, Chinese people, so-called, they're just trying to hang on. They're just trying to protect their little territories and try and implement those weapons and reduplicate those types of weapons just to protect themselves from these fucking so-called white people coming in and taking their shit too and enslaving their asses. They're like the only ones that's really, and then you got, Iran, places like that. It's a few countries, that's done got up on some military might and kind of trying to hold themselves down. But we're talking about just in general. If Esau really wanted to just hit a nuclear button, he could just take out the continent, man, like it's nothing. And he's prideful too, man. He brags on shit like that. But anyway, I'm going to end out there. I pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yashala on the Bible Ball.